Hi, my name is Ellie Grace Moore, and I'm presenting my Giving Voice to the Voiceless speech. '18th-century writer William Hazlitt writes in his short story, On the Pleasure of Hating, that hatred is immortal and life would turn into a stagnant pool were it not ruffled by hatred. According to TED, a nonprofit organization that is devoted to the spreading of ideas, there is one thing that is commonly despised among students. The subject of this common hatred is mathematics. Among all languages of academia, mathematics is the one that is most commonly despised. According to the Math Doctor's article, A Math Problem, 5 Reasons Why Students Hate Math, 3 out of 5 Americans hate math. And when you think about it, this is a considerable majority dedicated to the hating of one single subject. Math didn't do anything to us. All it did was exist. With reference to the book Mathematics Through the Eyes of Faith, mathematics is a pattern of this world, and it is a language through which we are able to interpret the phenomena that the Lord has created. Proverbs 10:12 says, "Hatred stirs up conflict, but love covers all wrongs." And Ephesians 4:31 says, "Get rid of all bitterness, rage, anger, brawling, and slander, along with every form of malice." Now, I'm not saying that we have to start a movement to try to get rid of all hate against mathematics, but we can focus on one group of people in one organization in order to make mathematics a little easier for some. According to Marge Yuxel, a guidance counselor who holds her PhD in special education, a particular group of students who experience severe frustration, a lowered self-esteem, antisocial behaviors, and even act out just to get kicked out of class while learning mathematics are those with a math learning disability. Today, I will be speaking to you about children with a math learning disability and as well as the National Center for Learning Disabilities and why your funding is important in order for a successful future for these students and for the subject of mathematics. First, I will go further into the concept of what a math learning disability is. Referencing Chong and Siegel, authors of the article, Stability of Computational Deficits in a Math Learning Disability, children with an MLD account for nearly 8% of students in elementary and secondary schools. Although this specific learning disability has a spectrum of mild to severe, this disability itself revolves around the same 2 deficits: procedural deficits and fact fluency deficits. According to Noel and Dave Vischer, authors of the article Arithmetic Fact Storage, procedural deficits can be explained as the inability for a student to understand math concepts and problem-solving processes. Fact fluency can be described as the difficulty in remembering facts that are simple arithmetic problems that are solved by direct retrieval from memory. While in class, a student with a math learning disability needs to adapt to a difficult environment and often gets frustrated and wants to give up. They have a lowered self-esteem, and sometimes they'll even act out just to get kicked out to avoid the learning of math altogether. These behaviors of a children with a math learning disability can result in antisocial behaviors at home, in the classroom, or even during community activities. Additionally, if a child is not performing well academically, then this too can lead to a lack of social skills as well as aggressive behavior. According to Rick Lavoie, a holder of 3 degrees in special education, he created a workshop in which he would try to mimic the feelings that a student with a math learning disability would feel while in the classroom. The participants of this study was part of his faculty who were teachers with all different areas of specialty. And during this simulation, the teachers said that they began to feel pressured and just nervous when they were struggling to find the answers to the questions that were asked of them, all in the subject of math. And this is a little bit what it's like for a student with a math learning disability while in the math classroom. However, there is a solution to these adversities faced by students with an MLD. The National Center for Learning Disabilities, also known as the NCLD, is an organization that focuses on bettering the lives of the 1 in 5 students with this learning disability. According to the official website of the NCLD, one of their main goals is to empower parents and young adults to transform schools and advocate for equal rights and opportunities for students with a math learning disability. The NCLD is an overarching organization that has different programs intertwined within it. The programs I believe are most important to receive your funding is Understood and the RTI Action Network, and their logos are pictured here in my visual. According to Understood's website, they want to empower parents to understand their children's issues and relate to their experiences. And with this knowledge, parents can make effective choices that propel their students from simply coping to truly thriving. Next, I will explain more about the RTI Action Network. But first, RTI stands for Response to Intervention. And this is a multi-tier approach to the early identification and support of students with learning and behavioral needs. Additionally, the RTI Action Network has resources that provide useful screening and progress monitoring in mathematics, and also can assist teachers with system changes in order to reach a more desired outcome in terms of the mathematics curriculum. Your funding is essential because programs as well as the NCLD is a starting point for students with a math learning disability. This way, they'll be able to start their paths to success in the realm of mathematics. If you would not donate to the NCLD, then these students would continue to hate math, and there would be less efforts made in order to rid of the said hatred. The Lord has provided mathematics as a language through which the world can be translated. He did not create mathematics just to be despised. This form of malice is not of the Lord, and if you do donate to the NCLD, and if you choose to focus on empowering and assisting students with a math learning disability, then the once frustrating, intimidating, self-esteem lowering math classrooms will transform into a learning environment in which more ideal mathematical outcomes will be reached. I believe that with your help, we can alleviate some of the hatred in this world. And by doing so, we can comply to the words of Ephesians 4:31. You will have rid of the bitterness, rage, brawling, and slander toward mathematics. Thank you for listening to me today. I greatly value your time as well as your consideration to donate to the NCLD. In other words, I greatly appreciate your consideration to help cure the world of its poisonous hatred. Thank you.